Welcome to the UNM 12 Days of the Healthcast. I'm Elizabeth Dwyer, and today we are talking with Dr. Christina Sauer, who is an associate professor in the Department of Psychiatry. Thanks so much for being here today, Dr. Sauer.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Of course. So today we're going to talk about kids and the holidays and why it's so important for them to be able to connect with their cousins and their families, and just really, making the time, carving out space for them to have human connection in general in this pandemic era we're all living through.
Yeah. I think this is a really important point for us to be talking about, especially with the ongoing experience with COVID. And I think the fact most of us have hoped that, we'd be getting to a point that there was more comfort in socializing and just being together in groups. But again, with variants and other changes, I think a lot of families are still having some anxiety, especially if they have kids who are younger or may not be eligible for vaccination too. But yeah, we know that, social time, connection, peer engagement, those are all really important things for kids in terms of their development, in terms of their mental health and emotional well-being and regulation, and also for parents, right, to have like some engagement with extended family or just, for their children to have that peer space. So I think, we really want to try to support families in continuing to have time for their kids with loved ones, with extended family to whatever extent is possible in terms of all the COVID precautions at this point.
Absolutely. And as someone who has an only child, what are the specific benefits that you can think of around the social emotional growth of a child witnessing adult interactions or witnessing how other kids interact? Like, why is that so important?
Yeah. So, I mean, the primary attachment that young kids have with their main family members, is really crucial in terms of their feelings of safety and security in the world. But then the bigger family or the bigger social community that they are exposed to or embraced by is also really important just for them in terms of, like learning more about individual differences or appreciating the value of seeing those that they trust having social connection and peer relationships too. And really a lot of other important things that, we try to emphasize for our kids around sharing or around kindness or around tolerance for others. And, some of these qualities that are harder to develop if really, a child is more isolated or not getting time with their peers.
Yeah, I remember the moment I realized that humans don't come imbued with empathy and that I had to teach my kid that. I was like, wait, what? That seems like a really hard thing to convey to a tiny human. So yeah, pretty important to have those visual aids and like the examples set out before them so they can see it in action. I think that that's really sage advice. So anything that you would recommend in terms of like how kids, if parents are feeling on edge, like about variants or like you said, have really young kids who maybe can't get vaccinated yet, any advice for like how their kids can interact socially with their peers, cousins, other family members this holiday in a way that would be safe?
Yeah. Well, I think as in New Mexico, we've been fortunate to have such mild weather. And so definitely outdoor activity, I think, has a lot of benefits beyond the social connection, also just that strength to physical movement and, being outside in nature that has a lot of positive kind of mental, emotional health benefits. And then, I think it's nice too, where families can continue to contribute to traditions around the holiday that resonate with their family, that they can share with other family members in terms of really like anchoring those memories and positive associations, especially that have further pro-social connections, like generosity and just really enjoying other people's company at this time of year. So those are a few things to think about. Yeah. But, really, I think just trying to find spaces where kids get to see other kids and kind of get to be other kids around their peers.
That's really, really great. Thank you so much. And a perfect segue, because one of our other segments is going to be about building new traditions during this very unique holiday that we're all experiencing. So thank you so much for being here today, Dr. Sauer. We really appreciate it.
Cool. Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.